What surprised Zeus the God King wasn't the strength of the Golden Pagoda's defense, but rather its ability to absorb attacks. The lightning spheres he had just hurled, most of their energy had been directly swallowed by the Golden Pagoda, causing no substantial damage. This was far more sophisticated than simply tanking attacks with brute force. Clearly, this Golden Pagoda was a rare divine artifact. Breaking through it completely would not be an easy task, but that only made Zeus more certain. Dustin must be hiding inside this ancient temple. Once the Golden Pagoda was destroyed, he could eliminate the potential threat of Dustin once and for all. Venerable ones, the 7 treasures glazed pagoda is indestructible. No matter how you attack, you cannot break through this sacred tower. The leading middle-aged monk advised sincerely. Please, stop wasting your energy and descend the mountain at once. Humph. I refuse to believe there exists a defense in this world that I cannot break. Zeus wasn't discouraged. Instead, his fighting spirit flared even brighter. He spread his arms and began quickly gathering energy. 2 orbs of crackling lightning formed and grew larger and larger. Break! When they had swelled to the size of basketballs, Zeus threw both lightning spheres at the Golden Pagoda with tremendous force. Boom! Boom! With 2 thunderous blasts, the Golden Pagoda trembled slightly. The 2 lightning spheres unleashed a wave of energy, but were ultimately devoured by the pagoda, vanishing without a trace. Yet Zeus refused to give up. He continued gathering strength and launched a relentless barrage of lightning spheres at the Golden Pagoda. Explosions rang out one after another, deafening in their frequency. However, no matter how violently Zeus attacked, the Golden Pagoda remained immovable, not showing a single sign of breaking. Inside the ancient temple, people sighed in relief. The 7 treasures glazed pagoda's defense was even stronger than expected. It had withstood the fierce assault of Zeus without a scratch. That was nothing short of extraordinary. But unlike the monks and guards who were visibly relieved, Margaret in the rear courtyard showed no sign of relaxation. The pagoda was her life-bound treasure. Although it looked unscathed for now, she knew very well it had its limits. Each attack from Zeus added pressure to the pagoda. If that pressure accumulated beyond its threshold, the pagoda would ultimately shatter. In other words, if Zeus kept attacking without rest, sooner or later the pagoda would break. At this rate, it could only hold out for 1 day and 1 night, and that was assuming Hera didn't step in. If Hera joined the battle too, the time needed to break the tower would be significantly reduced. Of course, the most crucial factor was Dustin. If he could finish absorbing the dragon's source energy before the tower was destroyed, then there was still hope for a complete reversal. If not, she would most likely die. She was gambling with her life, betting that Dustin would win. Time ticked by. Outside the temple, Zeus continued his frenzied assault, never stopping. The blue lightning spheres in his hands were like cannonballs, slamming into the Golden Pagoda without pause. He knew full well that no matter how strong the tower was, it couldn't be truly indestructible. Everything had a breaking point. His goal was to overload it using his immense strength and relentless attacks. It made sense in theory, but in practice, it was far from easy. The pagoda had its limits, sure, but so did he. After 3 hours of non-stop bombardment, the Golden Pagoda remained completely intact, while Zeus himself was panting heavily and drenched in sweat. Since becoming a god king, he had never felt this exhausted. No matter what enemies he had faced in the past, he'd always crushed them effortlessly. Never in his wildest imagination did he expect that a mere Golden Pagoda could endure 3 hours of his attacks. What was this? A turtle shell? Zeus was starting to lose his patience, but the more he failed to break it, the more obsessed he became with breaking it open. After taking a short rest, he turned his gaze to Hera behind him and said coldly, "Hera, how much longer are you going to sit there watching the show? Are you talking to me?" Hera yawned. "You looked like you were having so much fun. I didn't want to interrupt. Besides, don't you usually hate it when I meddle and steal your prey? That was then. This is now. Can't you see I'm drenched in sweat here?" Zeus snapped. "If you don't help me break this tower now, things are only going to get worse." He was one of the 4 supreme god kings. If he couldn't even destroy a pagoda, what face would he have left if word got out? All right. Hera finally stood up and stretched, a rare look of seriousness forming on her face.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe destined for a lifetime. Love with no end. Love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now there echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never let go. Though distance brings separation, in my